have our guest speaker, Nils. I've been knowing Nils for over 10 years. He's been my manager for around 8. He runs one of the biggest and best speaker agencies in Norway with around 500 speakers right now. They've been getting me over 70 gigs during the last few years, and he's been my mentor, viewed my talks. And in this session, we're going to talk about how do you get an agent, but most importantly, how do you work efficiently with your agent? How often should you meet them? How can you bring them business? What makes a good collaboration between a speaker and an agent? I work with a lot of speakers, and they go for maybe 5 or 6 agents in their country, and then they're like, where are all the bookings? Getting an agent is not a guaranteed success that you would just be, swimming in all these bookings. You gotta work correct with this agent. So today we're gonna pick the brain of an agent, how they think, how they like to work with speakers. And after this session, you'll be much better equipped to have a successful partnership with your agent and getting one. Let's dive in. Hey, Nils. Wow, so excited about this episode about, how to work with an agent.
I'm excited too.
Yeah, so you have one of the most successful speaker agencies in Norway. You represent 500 speakers, and you book how many gigs a year for speakers? Above 1,000?
Right now it's about 1,000, 1,200 and increasing, yes.
Yeah, across all the topics. It's can you tell a bit about Talerlisten, in short?
Yes, my background is from the PR industry. I was about 25 years as a consultant in PR, and I was gradually doing more and more talks based on the book I wrote back in 2007. So I started doing a lot of talks around that book, which is about reputation. And it was during one of my travels to Northern Norway, I sat at a restaurant and actually got this idea about making a sort of a TripAdvisor for speakers, meaning a place where customers and event agencies and others can go and find speakers. They can look at their prices, their reviews, videos, etc. That was 10 years ago now, and it's been quite successful since, growing organically, slowly up till now. And we have 6 people working in my agency, and we have a turnover of around 35 million Norwegian kroner per year.
So around 3 million euros. That's really impressive. So 6 people working in your team. For those who think of an agent like one person who help you get gigs, 6 persons in your team, that's a lot. What do they do? Sales or marketing? How does a speaker agency team look like?
Yeah, my team, and I think others too, are a combination of advisors and salespeople. Because in this business, you can't just call people and say, do you want a speaker this or that or him or her? You need to listen to the customer and client. You need to take in what kind of event they have, what kind of need they have, their budget, what they've done previously, etc. So a lot of their work is actually sitting on the phone or having meetings like now and addressing issues regarding their needs and their event. Try based on that to give them advice on which speakers they should have. So it's not an ordinary sales job like selling a product. It's more talking around profiles, and we send over offers, and normally we land a deal with our speakers, and we take about 20-25% commission for that work.
Yeah, I think that's the standard rate. If you look at there's 2 kind of speakers: those who already have an agent and those who are thinking to get one. If we start with the first, when should a speaker approach an agent, and especially to get a yes to get listed? Because you get 15, 20 a week, and you say no to most. When should a speaker? How do they know they're ready to approach a speaker agent?
Well, it depends a little bit, but to try to be specific, if you are a speaker or you have done some talks that you think are pretty good, you have maybe gotten feedback, you have worked with your story, your structure, what you're offering. If you feel that this is sort of ready to go, then you can contact the speaker. And then, like we do, that person you meet will probably ask to see a show reel or a video from you, or they will ask you to come into their office to present. Tell about how it is around in Europe, but in Norway at the moment, there are more speakers than we actually need. So it's right that we at the moment get maybe 200, maybe more per year that asks us and send emails. Today I've received 3, and it's 1 o'clock. So the demand is lower than the supply. So my advice would be work first on what you have to offer, and then try to understand where your talk fits into the market. what kind of problem or what kind of issue do you help the customers or clients solve, and then present yourself for an agency.
And how do you, so when you get one of these emails, like what's like your first moment analyze? Like, is it like, what matters to you? Experience, clarity of topic, proof of results?
Well, I think I would answer differently. Talerlisten and many speaker agencies, they are like stores with a lot of different products in. So the first thing I'm looking for is, what if that person tells me I'm a speaker in sustainability or in AI, I try to look for if that product is something I think I can sell or my people can sell. And secondly, I look at, do I have other products who are similar or which are similar? And if you are like number, 50 in a category, it's really hard for you to compete. So if you have something unique, something special, and that I think I can sell, that's a good start. Then I try to look for, people do it very differently. Some people list what they do and they send videos, etc. Some people just say, I want to be a speaker, how can I do that? So at least if you approach an agency, try to make it crystal clear what you are offering to the market, what you believe is your unique selling point, and include maybe reviews or videos or links that the agent can look at, because you need to fit into their category or their product shelf, so to speak.
Interesting. So yeah, maybe do some research too, like what they have.
But to give an example, at the moment, I'm looking for 3 kinds of speakers. I'm looking at managers, people with specific management skills, that has not consultant, but that has been managers or leaders in corporation. I look for English speakers in general that are good in English. Sorry about the noise here. And I also look for speakers within AI, because AI is a growing business for us at the moment.
Yeah.
So, but sometimes it can be other people. This is organic. This is moving. As always, if a celebrity contacts me and if I believe that she or he has a product, I will take a talk with that person.
Yeah, how to be a celebrity?
Yeah, but it doesn't need to be a success, but it can be. Or you can be an author, TV personality, maybe a sports profile. So that's at least something I look twice at.
Okay, interesting. We have a little bit like a knirke sound when you speak. I don't know why it suddenly appeared. Wait, is it better now? I think, yeah, can try to.
I don't know, I hope so. I hope it's better.
It's a little bit, litt sånn knirkelyd. Skal vi se, kom plutselig.
Maybe you can edit that out.
I will try. Okay. Yeah, we got that part. Okay, so a few questions about like the speaker assets. Like, you look at, like, for example, a speaker reel. What would you recommend to include in that? Like, what's a good speaker reel? Because you guys produced quite a few of those.
In a good speaker reel, I would like to see the speaker talk, so I can hear how she or he sounds, the tone of voice, language, accent, etc., and also address what that person talks about. You can talk in the camera and say that. I would preferably also see that person on stage, maybe a little cut about how that person is in front of an audience. But that's, of course, difficult, because you need to cut out a piece from maybe a long talk. So that's a little bit difficult. But I would like not only to see their face talking, but also see them on stage, maybe even with the reactions from the audience.
Yeah.
And you may also list, with graphics, a few topics you talk about. But don't make the mistakes and tell everything you know and everything you talk about. I have some long speaker reels where I say I talk about this and 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 this. Then it becomes blurry. So try to be specific, or maybe maximum 3 issues.
Okay, interesting. And then, like, let's just switch to this, like, this situation, like, me and you've been working together for almost 10 years, so we know each other well. But like, I see this when I work with speakers, and I know you see the same. It's people come to me and they come to you, and they can be like, hey, I have an agent, but I'm not getting any gigs. And they are kind of like, going to this grumpy mode, or maybe they have 3 agents in the same country, and they're like, I'm not getting any gigs. So how do you work efficiently with an agent? Like, what separates those who, like, I keep getting bookings from you, right? And there's some who don't. Like, and this is the same in every country with a lot of speakers. So how do you work efficiently with an agent?
On Talerlisten, we have around 500 speakers, and that was after I offboarded around 250 this early spring. Of those 500, there's around 200, maybe a little bit more, who gets gigs. Some of them get it very frequently, some get not so frequently, for various reasons. My main advice will be, again, to try to find out where do you fit in their product portfolio. So try to get a meeting or a talk with those who are responsible for sales and ask open questions. Why? How can I become more attractive? Is it my topic? Is it my specialty? Is it my way of speaking? Because you don't need an agency don't need a speaker that they can't sell. And we are very much based on traffic from our website and ingoing requests. We also work outgoing, but we see what our customers are looking for at the website, and we see in our inbox who they ask for. So they have a name, they have a brand, and they have some specialty. So try to look at yourself as a brand. Are you the sustainability guy? Are you that funny AI person? Are you that C-suite manager with the crystal clear advice on how to have difficult talks? What do you do? What are you good at? And try to get your agent to respond whether that's something they believe they can market or not. Because it's certainly not a good situation where you as a speaker feel that you have sort of given yourself away to the agent and nothing happens. So then you need to address that. And unfortunately, the agent can't spend too much time because they need to talk to clients and employees, etc. But try to address, and also try to look around in the market on LinkedIn. What other topics do people speak about? Who is winning the different categories, etc.? So you need to have your eyes open and your ears open to what's going on in the marketplace.
Okay, so okay, great. So just to wrap up then, like I signed up with a new agent. Like, what's the best, like the first 60 days? Like, is it a few things I should do? Like, okay, maybe book a meeting with them and go through the topic. Anything else I can do the first 60 days to kind of kickstart a new partnership?
Well, a lot of traffic, of course, comes via Google to these websites. Talerlisten, for example, is very high ranked on Google in Norway. That means your profile, the text about you, needs to be good on the website of the agent, because most agents present you in a way with a profile, maybe a couple of talks, maybe references and video and photo. So make sure that the text about you is clear, specific, and also not only focus about who you are and your background, but what can the audience expect after you have left the room? Because they can look at your CV and they can look, oh, you done this or that, and you've been to this school and this job. But what they're looking for is this person, who I don't know, help solve our problem. And what will happen in the audience when this person is in the room and afterwards. Remember that the client isn't booking you, or they're booking what's happening after you have left. So for example, for you, Max, when you have talked to the audience about how to communicate with Gen Z or millennials or alpha, they can do something with that information. For example, write different scripts when they're looking for new people, the way they onboard people, etc. So focus on the benefits and the usage of your material, not yourself and your background.
Yeah, great tip. I had a lady in Tromsø. She'd run up to me after the talk and she's like, I have a Gen Z starting in 2 hours. I need to go and fix some stuff. See you. This was a good talk. And she disappeared like lightning fast. So that's like, yeah, have some, yeah.
So for example, also I do talks on presentation technique and rhetorics. And what I try to do, and I have a little bit of my background, but I write in, after a course with me, your staff will be better presenters. They will be better able to get the message across in the room or from a stage. They will be better at telling stories and have a more crisp, clear, precise start on their talk, etc., which are things that are tangible for the client. And they can sort of mirror their needs in your profile and find out this is the right guy or this is the right girl, woman for our needs.
Yeah. How often should you check in with your agent? Like once a month? Like what is too much? What is pushy? And one is like, how often do you check in?
It really depends. But I like to be specific. So at least 4 times a year, I would say. But that can be everything from, can we have a 15-minute meeting to sending a text message or sending an email. Oh, I have this article out in the newspaper, or look at this. My video was featured here and there, or I'm doing a TED talk. Try to give your agent and your contact person, if you have a contact person, give them a little bit of sort of drips on what you do, but don't call and nag about.
Where are the gigs?
Yes,
where are the gigs?
Don't do that. But make sure that you're in there, visible for them. So I would say at least 4 times a year, and try to think that every time you contact your agent, you should bring some piece of value. I heard about this conference. Do you think this can be something for me? Or I've been a member or been a guest in this podcast. Is this something you can share or use to the customers? So it's about being sort of keeping the relationship warm.
Yeah, that's a great advice. Yeah, around 4 times a year, and every time you check in, bring some value. Like, hey, I have a speaker reel. Can you share it, or can you contact it? Yeah, okay. So that's really great.
And
Okay,
also note
cool.
there are different agencies. Some agencies are agencies who take fully care of everything you do, podcast, books, TV, whatever you do. And they would usually normally demand that you're loyal with them, and you can expect more if they have maybe 30, 40, 50 profiles, or if you are in a bigger agency with maybe 1,000 profiles. I think London's Speaker Bureau has 6,500 profiles. So they
Yeah.
are obviously different than the agent who are working solely for a few number of individuals.
Yeah. And is it like, I think I know your answer, but like some people have many agents in one countries, but like, is it better to have one or two agents in one country, or go like volume, or double down on one?
That really depends on what the agent will allow you. In Norway, the competition has increased, and agents, including Talerlisten, will ask for your loyalty normally. This is also a market with the supply and demand. If you are a very strong profile who's easy to sell, and you demand that, okay, I want to be on your platform, but I also want to be on another platform, and if you are strong enough and attractive enough, the agent will normally allow that. But if you are a newcomer or maybe not so attractive, the agency will probably not allow you to be present on several platforms. And the reason is, of course, that each agency will like your business, but also some customers, some clients, they tend to send offers or requests to many agencies. And it's very confusing if we have a dialogue with a customer and they say, well, we have this other offer from this agency and we have this offer from this agency, and maybe the price can be different. That's not a good situation. We've been in that a couple of times. So I would rather advise you to go with one agent and build a relationship with them, maybe have a good meeting regarding expectations from both parties, and then check in at least every 6 months to find out where you are in terms of those expectations.
That's great. Yeah, it's kind of, I also kind of advise speakers to just have one agent in each country and build a very close partnership. Like, try to get really like invest in building business together, because that's something you've been saying, Nils. It's like, this is building together, and even if you don't have exclusivity, it's if a speaker brings you business, you get happy, and you bring them business. It's like a teamwork.
Very
It's a
much.
give and take, and I think very few people miss that.
Yes, it's in a other relationship. It's if you're married or you're engaged or something, you would like your partner to be trustful to you and loyal to you. And in order to have a good life together, you need to give and take, and you need to help each other and create value for each other and be good friends. And it's the same with agency. If one part is just angry or nagging or needy, it's not going to be a good relationship. And sometimes we offboard people who are not happy because we feel, well, we do as good as we can, but you obviously are not happy. Let's end the relationship. And other times we take speakers on board who has been trying other opportunities. We take them back because they want to cooperate again. So look at it as a long-term relationship and try to do what you can in order to give value to that relationship and ask for value back.
Yeah, I think it's like, it's so easy to let the greed override what you want, because if you're a speaker and you get a gig for say 2,000 euros and you got it yourself, it's kind of like you're giving up, say 20%. You're giving up 400 euros to your agent, but you shouldn't look at it as giving up. You should look at it as an investment, because if you bring them the business, you will get most likely 5 times back. And sometimes you just have to override the greed.
Or you can look at this at sales cost, because I agree with you. I agree with you. I think the only people who do not need an agency are those who get enough gigs on their own. They don't need the marketing. They don't need the network. They need nothing. And maybe they don't want so many gigs. Then you don't need an agency. I do have some speakers who mostly turn down the requests I get. But the good thing for me is that then I can sell them something else. These are people who are busy. They are maybe don't want to travel that much, or they have already a good economic situation. And this can also fluctuate over time. So again, look at it as a long-term thing. The one thing that irritates me, since you bring it up, is I can sell something. Hey, look here, I sold you for 3,000 euros. You get 2,700, and then, oh, I'm missing 300 euros. Are you taking that away from me? And no, I'm giving you 2,700 euros, and you're paying me 300 to get here. Aren't you happy with that? If you're not happy with that, then you should not have an agent. It's like marketing. It's like if you have a store, You maybe need some advertising. You need some posters outside. Maybe you need some flyers. You know, you need to look at your agent as a marketing and sales machine for you, and hopefully it works.
Okay, no, it's really interesting. Okay,
But
Nils,
I want to go back and remind you or the listeners, viewers, about one thing. If you want to succeed as a speaker, you have to be a good speaker. You have to work on it. You have to be good on stage or online. Everybody can stand and point at PowerPoints who are dull and boring. That's not difficult. But a good speaker can tell stories. They can be precise. They can engage. They can activate the audience. They can make people laugh and cry and have goosebumps. You need to work on your talk and get professional help and get feedback from what you do, because there is a competition out there. And many clients, they will think, well, do I need to book Max Gouchan for 2,500 euros? Or can a guy in accounting do the same thing, or our HR department? Yeah. And if the answer is we don't have any in the HR part that is as good, well, the job is yours. But if they say, well, we can have somebody internally, or my friend from high school can do it, well, then you're out. So you need to work on actually making that gap between you and the amateurs bigger. Then you will get a lot of book.
A great speech solves everything. Bringing this up, like just like this partnership between speakers and agencies. 3 years ago, you called me, Nils, and said like, "Hey, we're doing this lunch and learn. Can you come and speak for free? We think it's a good investment." And I came to Oslo, and it was me and Ida. We spoke. It was around 200 people in Scandic. Now, 3 years later, now I'm going on stage, right? 60 store managers, and Aina, she saw me when I did that free speech.
I remember
3
that.
years
Yes,
ago.
yes, true.
Yes,
true.
and we didn't have any meetings, anything, because she remembered the speech.
Yeah.
It was like, and we got the gig. We signed the papers, no meetings, nothing. Like, of course, your team talked to them, but I didn't have to show up or sell myself. We're just like, hey, we saw Max 3 years ago. We want this. A good speech solves.
Very good point.
And this is a partnership, right?
Very good point. And you made an impression, but very importantly, that customer, if I called her or the other week or two later, they would maybe not have booked you because they didn't have the need then, but now they have it. So you have to, as a speaker, accept that they can like you, they can evaluate what you did, but it's not the right time, because your topic is not on their agenda at the moment. But that doesn't mean that you're not attractive maybe later on, 6 months, 12 months, 18 months. So you're right. People will Google again. They will look maybe at their email invitation, Talerlisten. Oh, Max Gouchan, that was his name. Let's have a look at him. So I would say that if your agent asks you to do a promotional talk, you should invest in that.
Definitely do that. We had so many bookings from just that day.
And it's like, go. What you can demand back if somebody asks you to do a free talk and you think it's a good idea, then you can say back, I would like to do it, but then I would like, for example, for you to promote me on your LinkedIn page or Facebook or Instagram, whatever. And I also would like to sit down with you or the audience afterwards to listen what can be better, what did they like, etc. So you can use that gig also to improve your talk.
Yeah.
You must constantly look at the improvements.
Oh, constantly. Finally, I know you're super busy, and so like final two questions. The one is just for our listeners who are outside Norway and they think like, oh, I would love to get a gig in Norway and see the beautiful nature, like do two things in one go, or they want to try to enter Norway. How would you just like in 30 seconds summarize the Norwegian speaker market? Budgets usually per speaker, hot topics. You kind of mentioned that a bit beginning, but like, how's the Norwegian speaker market? Usual rates and
there's a lot of supply, many speakers who are offering talks. The prices vary from maybe 1,500, 2,000 euros and up to 3, 4, 5,000 euros and over that for the attractive speakers. Our average is around 3,500 euros per talk, which is a lot for 45 minutes. Yeah. The trend is that number of minutes are going down to maybe 30, 40 minutes, not 45, 60-minute talks. There's demand for more engagement, not only a talk, but maybe a workshop afterwards or another 45 minutes with Q&As, etc. So clients want a little bit more in-depth. And yeah, if you as a person coming from abroad can offer something unique, which is not available in the market and which is in good English, it can be a market for that. But I would not say it's big. We have some Swedish speakers that we book gigs to, some from UK, but I would not say it's very normal. Norway is quite a local domestic market, as is also the Netherlands, UK, Belgium, France. The speaker market is mostly local. 5%, I would say, are local speakers.
Okay, thank you for that.
National
and then we have the
speakers.
closing. And then we have the closing advice. So, what is one piece of advice you wish every speaker listening to this right now would actually take action on to get a better, improve their career?
When you do a talk, you need to do many talks in order to get training. Like if you want to play golf or play piano or whatever, you need to train and work. Every time somebody comes up to you and say, that was a good talk, or I liked your talk, that was really good. My advice is you should say, thank you. And you should say, what did you like? And ask and listen. What did you like? I like the part when you, okay, that's good. What else? Because then you can gather in the moment very fresh feedback. So don't accept an answer like, that was a good talk, thank you. It's not useful for anything. Ask for what they liked. And if you are brave and clever enough, say after a while, after you have listened, what would you have liked to be different? Are there any parts of my talk that you think I can improve? And make sure that you note these things down and you work on them, because that's the only way you will be a really good speaker in the end.
And you have to push for this. Thank you for that. You have to push. Yeah, I often, people say like, oh, it's nice talk, but I always ask like, but if it's something I could improve, like something that could be better. And then people say like, oh, you could talk a bit slower, or this was this. It's like, and then you know, just really push for it, and it's so valuable.
And what you also can do is film yourself and have your own review, or you can go to an agent or an actor or somebody who is professional and ask them for advice. That's also, I think, a good advice. So again, work on your talk. Don't expect it to be easy. Be patient, and eventually success will come to you.
Yes, that's what you want. Nils, thank you so much for this and sharing how to get an agent, how to work with them. Thank you so much. Yeah, I'm looking forward for next year to work together. It's going to be so fun.
I do too. And good luck to everyone. Good luck.
Good. Hey, I hope you liked this episode. If you are a speaker and you already have paid gigs, but you want more, bigger stages and more consistency in the amount of bookings, we work one-on-one with speakers to help them get more gigs and increase their sales. Check out Become a Speaker and Know in the link below. If you're just starting out or you have had a few gigs and you want to really become a successful public speaker, check out our 8-week bootcamp. Here, we help speakers create their speaker reel, website, positioning, beautiful presentation with amazing slides, storyline, and also land that first big paid speaking gig. Check out the 8-week program below. And I'm always excited to work with passionate speakers who have a very interesting story and valuable advice to share.